Hello and welcome back to the channel, and if you are in a region or country that celebrates it, I hope you've had a good Christmas and a new year. So we're going to start 2025 with a model by Sembo. We have for you the Leopard 2A7. So usual format, which I'm sure you're aware of by now, 60-second speed build. I'll show you some pics of the finished article and then we'll get into the review. So let's crack on and build. Right, welcome back. So, the usual format. First of all, the instructions. Now, normally I eulogise about how wonderful Sembo instructions are. Not so much in this case. This is not the usual sort of instructions that we've been used to and spoilt with by Sembo. It's a more standard, traditional sort of A5 booklet. And whilst it is in colour, so it is easier to differentiate between the dark grey and the black, which is good. It's not the greatest set of instructions in the world. I found myself, before Christmas I did a model of a Hetzer, which was the first time that I'd done a model with PDF instructions. And I actually found myself wishing that these instructions were on PDF, because so many places I just wanted to blow it up to actually see exactly what was going on. It was a little bit tricky in some places. I found a particular type of paper really reflected a lot of light, so it was really quite difficult to see. And the way that they printed it in here is that, say for instance, when you get to somewhere like the turret, where you're putting lots of bricks on lots of bricks, it can be so things like this. What they've done is they've highlighted the bricks that you're supposed to put on in red. That can be really difficult to see with the reflection of the light off of these instructions. So yeah, bizarrely I did wish that these would have been PDF. Now, everything fits, there's nothing missing, nothing's warped, and no discoloration. In fact, there was quite a lot left over, a good 230 pieces left over. And it also comes with 4 minifigures, which are actually okay, unusually. We have 2 girl minifigures in here, which I think of all the models I've done the last year, they're the first definite girl ones. There are a few stickers with this. They add a little bit of depth to the actual detail itself without overwhelming it, which is quite nice. So, what do I think of this? It's tricky, actually. I'm a little bit confounded, because it actually it does turn into quite a good model. I'm not going to lie, there's quite a lot of detail on here. It's not the top quality, not the very best, but it's perfectly acceptable at this sort of level of price for this tank. what I am really confused about is actually the build itself and how you do it. It's very, very strange. Really strange. When you're putting the body together initially, it almost appears like you're, well, it's just very, very weird. I'm going to go back to the instructions and just sort of show you the weirdness of it. So these strips here that you actually put the wheels into, they're not one piece, they're not even three pieces held together by some top cross sections. They're individual one by one bits, and there's lots of them, and there's lots of little one by one flat plates in there. So in this section here, and you do two of these, there's probably 20 different pieces in here, and that's obviously incredibly fragile to make, even when you start putting on one by one bits over the top of it to try and hold it together, which it sort of does and sort of doesn't, because there's quite a few places where it will then very easily bend, and then you've got to put the wheels in. And now this is what you do with the wheels. Now, I thought at one point that I was putting in some sort of proper suspension on here, because those black things in the middle are far more rubbery than a normal brick. But it doesn't work like that. It's literally not. Everything will quite literally crumble if you look at it funny, until you start getting these flat pieces on either side. Now that's for the bottom, and that's still a little bit fragile, and it's not then until you get to the top it all starts to solidify. And there's a couple of places where that sort of goes on, where you're building a house of cards until a certain point when it will just give itself its own structural integrity. It was very oddly designed, very, very strange. I've not come across a model where you go about the building of it quite like this. Now, I've done a few Sembo models now. To be fair, they've all been planes except for the landing craft, which was the LCM, which was very good. So this is the first tank or non-plane that I've done really by Sembo, and it is odd, very odd indeed, and where you don't expect it, because particularly with this the A72, was it? No, 2A7. So these bits at the front of the turret, I was expecting that to be really difficult. No, absolutely really, really easy. This bit at the back, it's actually quite difficult to do. It's where you'd think it would be relatively simple. It's just really confusing. It's almost like they've designed to build it in such a way as to really mess with your head deliberately. Like somebody's right, I'm leaving this company and I'm going off to work somewhere else because they treat me like rubbish. I'm going to really screw with them here. It's just a little bit like that. It's odd, but it does produce quite a decent model. Now, this cost me £16.19, which actually, for this size of model with this level of detail, I'm not going to go into the complexity, but this level of detail, I think it's pretty good. So I am a little conflicted with whether to recommend this or not to you. If you like puzzles, and if you like holding your breath while you're trying to put in some bricks before it gains its rigidity, this is the model for you. If that sort of thing really, really irritates you, don't touch this with a barge pole. As I say, the model that you get at the end is not bad. It's the getting there is very, very peculiar. The minifigures themselves, they're quite nice. I think what it comes down to at the end of the day is that there are quite a lot of models of various different leopards out there at all sorts of price points, from the £100 mark right down. I think possibly the cheapest leopard I've seen was about £5 or £6. So you've got quite a lot of a selection of leopards out there. This is a good price for the model you end up with. I'm not sure it's a good price for the model that you have to build to get there. So I would shop around. If you've got a favourite manufacturer, you know how they work usually, might be an idea to stick with them on this. But if you really like a puzzle, and if you really like a challenge, and you really don't want to spend a lot of money, then this is definitely the model for you. There we go. That's the first model of 2025 done. I hope you've enjoyed the review. If you have, please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll have another one ready for you soon. You take care. Bye bye.